Okay, hello everybody. This time I'm showing you a casual deck. Not all my decks are, aimed for tournament games. And this time I have a very nice mono white control casual deck. And by casual I mean no, expensive cards. Alright, here you see the first hand, which I'll mulligan right now. The core of the deck is to play those Wellsprings. This one and the other draw a card Wellspring, and with Phyrexia's core. And so I'll, cycle cards, draw lands, and the rest is, removal, 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 as you see. Day of Judgment, Oblivion Ring, Revoke Existence, Archon of Justice, cards like that, and I'll also have this one, which in a moment will prove you, let's say so, how useful it can be. And let's see. Okay, I kept this hand, by the way. I didn't mulligan it because it was 5 cards, a land. I thought that I would draw a second land, and if I draw it, it would be, as you see, and I draw it with my Wellsprings, I could, fix my mana. So I start with my Wellspring. Alright, here's another interesting card. This one, if you look at the current card pool of Standard and examine the white cards, you'll see that there is absolutely no playable white spot removals available. I mean, once upon a time we had Path to Exile and cards like that, and now all we can play is actually a black card called Dismember, And this card you see here, Pride Guardian, is my answer to aggro decks. I mean, they play a first turn, creature, and I play this, and every time it blocks, I gain 3 life. It's 0/3. It has a very good toughness for a 1 mana creature, so I'm very happy with this decision so far. It doesn't do anything against, other mid-range or slow control decks, but it's in for aggro matchups. My opponent, as you see, is also playing a mono-colored deck, mono green. Alright, I know he'll cause me a lot of troubles because he mana ramps like crazy and then plays his better skull. I have, revoke existence, thankfully. It's a very main deckable, let's say so, card these days. And as long as Scars of Mirrodin will be in standard, white decks should play main deck artifact and enchantment removal. And this is the reason why I have this. 2 copies, but they're always useful. And as you see, it helps me to get rid of a better skull. It's early in the game and I have no ways of dealing with it other than this, of course. By the way, I have 1 copy of this one here, and it's perfect with the Pyrexia's core land, so it recycles, it goes back to your hand, and Alright, he plays the same, cards as I do in a different color, and I'm in a big trouble. But thankfully, I have my Phyrexian Rebirth. I kill all his creatures and, get me a token. Sadly, green means artifact removal, enchantment removal, and in this case, land destruction. His slime creature destroyed one of my lands, and as you will see in a moment, he will continue doing that. I attack into his Death Touch creature, get rid of it, and play my Archon of Justice. Alright, a hexproof creature, very problematic, as you know, Dangro Welder. I first attack and then play my gargoyle. Now, this card, as you see, is indestructible as long as you're not attacking with it, and it's a perfect way of stopping these kinds of monsters. It's a very good creature, especially in the stack. Alright, another Titan. Thankfully, I have my spine in hand. I block his Tangru Welder with my indestructible creature, and now I'll destroy his Titan. Alright, another trouble. Now here's another very nice card, which I like to play in my casual decks. Please do remember that this deck here is aimed for casual play, meaning I don't have this in my deck. I don't have any planeswalkers, any expensive stuff, because in casual room people, complain about those cards, so I avoid playing them in my casual decks. So instead of those, I play the cards you see. I mean, Manor Gargoyle can of course be a Wormcoil engine. I know that, and I have my Wormcoil engines. But here in the casual room, I try to, build my decks with, you know, I don't want to say second class, but alternate cards. Let's say so. And this one is one of those. And in a moment, of course, you'll see how useful it will be. It can be. Alright, he attacks. Now I'm using it. I reveal my White Sun's Zenith. A few words about it. This is my win condition. Of course, I do win games with this sometimes or with this sometimes, but most of the time the win comes with White Sun's Zenith. Alright, I used Archon of Justice on Wormcoil Engine, even though I know he'll sacrifice it to his Phyrexia's core, but I had no other choice. Alright, he saw my White Sun's Zenith, and therefore he goes after my lands. One by one, he destroys them. This time, it was a Bramble Crush and Acidic Slime. Alright, timely reinforcements was timely indeed. It gave me room to breathe, so to speak. Another better skull. As you see, I'm in a very bad position. That's a very big Death Touch lifelink creature. And thankfully, I have my indestructible Manor Gargoyle. Alright, here's my Phyrexia's core. I block his creatures, my Wellspring. But first, I'll play my Spine to destroy his Acidic Slime. He gets his Better Skull back to his hand. I don't know why, but he did so. Maybe he thought that I targeted his artifact. Anyway, he destroyed one other of my lands. As you see, I just lost 4 lands. Not many decks can overcome this. He's playing, okay, mono green, but it's, as you see, kind of an LD. I mean, land destruction. Bramble Crush, I believe he has 4. The slime creature, I believe he has at least 3. And Beast Within is also present, of course, as you see. And I'm losing land after land, and he just destroyed my Phyrexia's core. I draw a card. By the way, I have 3 Day of Judgments and 3 Oblivion Rings in my deck. Now I'm about to, as you see, I have 36 cards left. About to draw half of my deck, and none of them is in sight. It's interesting. It's thankfully a creature, and it gives me This one gives me a blocker. Steel Hellkite is one other of my finishers, and I don't play any Titans in this deck because of the reasons I mentioned before. Casual decks, non-expensive stuff for me. And Steel Hellkite is also an incredible creature in casual Magic at least. As you will see in a moment, it'll come down and it'll help me get rid of those hexproof creatures or other annoyances. Here it is. By the way, as you see, the board doesn't look very, nice to me, for me. I blocked his said robot, and I blocked his 10-10 Dan Gruelder, but I had to let his worm coil token through. I had no other choice. Alright. I still have my White Sun's Zenith in hand. I attack and destroy his Dangru Welder. As you see, Steel Hellkite has its uses. But I'm at 4 life. Another Dangru Welder, 11-11 this time. I destroy it once again, and thanks to my Manor Gargoyle, I'll keep that 7/7's Vigilance Lifelink that touch token at bay. I get me a planes, but the most important thing is that I gain a life, and you know, I will draw my Dismember. Just in time, I might add. Alright, now, how many of you think that I will win this game from here? I'm at 4 life. I have 2 creatures here. He's at 53 life and he will get higher. He has these cards you see here. 11-11 Dangro Welder, the Worm Coil Engine, this one, and this token. But this deck, you'll see here, is very resilient. First, let me attack and kill his Dangro Welder. I have my White Sun's Zenith in hand, and now it's time to use it. He attacks, I play my Zenith, and I will block his Worm Coil Engine with my tokens. They're all dead. Now he has a bunch of tokens, which are the perfect target for my Hellkite. I first attack and I will destroy all his tokens, and in response he'll sack them all to his Phyrexia's core and will gain more and more life. Now I am playing my Spine to destroy his final creature. And pass the turn. He top decks a land, apparently. I sack the Spine. But in response, sadly, I lose my Elixir of Immortality. I was counting on it to shuffle all those 12 cards back to my library and to gain 5 life in the meantime. But sadly, I just lost that. Alright, Pride Guardian. I attack, play my Defender, and play my Spine, and I will destroy one of his lands. Of course, that doesn't make any sense. He has so many forests. But in this game, he destroyed so many lands of mine, so I just wanted to have my revenge in a way, you know. Let's draw some cards. I repeat, I have 3 Day of Judgments and 3 Oblivion Rings in this deck. You never saw one. He gets another land, as if he needed. Better Skull goes back to his hand, and now it will come down. But first, alright, this is a big trouble for me. It would have been a big trouble had I not have this in my hand. Now let's see. I'll first, of course, get me out of, uh, get me above 4 life because I'll now lose 4 life to this. I'm at 3, so I'll just say a few things to my Praxius core. First, get me a land. Now I'm at 4 life. Now I'm at 5 life. Now I can use my dismember. I'm at 1 life, but his Phyrexian metaphor is gone. Metamorph. I cannot speak. Sorry. I attack and kill the token. His token. And play my second Steel Halkite. I'm at 1 life, but I have the better position right now. So I fought all his, Dungrew, Elders, Wormcoil Engines, Primeval Titans, Better Skulls, and everything and everything. All those land destruction spells. I may be at 2 life now, and please do note, I'm repeating it again, that I didn't draw any mass removal spells. I destroy one of his lands, and he will concede now after 23 turns. So this is my mono white control deck. As you see, with this deck I just don't know how to die. That much I can say. Let's take a look first at the cards I fought. Primeval Titan, the Slime, Wormcoil Engine, his land destruction spells, Dungrew Elders, Phyrexian Metamorph, and all those stuff. Plus Better Skull. And I just drew my Sunblast Angel. I have 1 copy in hand. I like this creature. I like to play it. So that was my mono white control deck, and I do hope you liked it. This one was, the superstar and the reason I stayed alive that long. And this was also my superstar as well. All right. This was aimed for casual magic once again. I just want to repeat that. Thanks for watching.